RWP is brought to you by Porch Beer Entertainment.
You can't just have that sort of chemistry right off the bat.
You're including everything we just talked about in the new reboot of
No,
episode
I can't do
28.
that because it's so bad sound quality. I can't do that to the fans.
Hey guys, listen in Rando Nation.
Yeah, hey
we
Rando
just had
Nation.
some pretty heavy technical difficulties due to our production manager Ben and his inability to work a 30-year-old mixing device.
It's not 30
lost
years old.
We lost about the first 30 minutes.
It was right around there. We started right around. Yeah.
Right around 30 minutes.
Yeah,
We had our usual pre-show banter. We talked about Ben invented a new way to eat pizzas. I'll post pictures of the diagram he demonstrated. Basically, he wants you to eat a pizza normally until you get it into a square and then bite both crust and cheese at the same time. We talked it out. It doesn't work.
It's a great new invention. I came up with a new invention. You know, the funny thing is that people at home might actually enjoy this because the thing that people get annoyed by the most is the pre-show banner sometimes.
And it's going to be gone.
It's completely gone. We have 30 minutes recorded. You know what?
It was actually pretty good.
I will save it, and maybe we'll release it as like bonus content, maybe on the best of or something like
files.
that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be such bad quality. It probably picked up at least some talking.
Yeah, we'll see.
And we talked about my desk decorations.
How do we start? How do we do a show? Like I
don't know.
We haven't done the word yet. So that's how we discovered this whole issue. So actually, we still have an entire podcast we can do. We're just going to skip some of the pre-show stuff. So
it was good. Though.
Yeah. So again, we will make this pre-show banter available to you guys.
Sure.
On the best of. So that will give you. So we have 30 minutes of best of material that will be
thrown
thrown
all
into
30
that.
minutes of that. It sounds like someone shouting at you far away. Hey, yeah, and then the pizza, and there's a lot of pizza over here. It just doesn't sound the same.
It does because
Sounds
it was recorded.
It sounds like Terrence. Terrence, are you here today? Yeah, dude, I'm right here.
Yeah, it was recorded
hey, Terrence,
with my.
Good to see you. How's the family? My dad's not doing too well.
It does
That's
sound
great
like it's
to
far
hear,
away.
Terrence.
Because
Yeah.
it's recorded from a computer microphone instead of these wonderful, silky smooth microphones that we're using right now. So, great.
Whatever.
Well, that's
Just-
great.
all
You know
right.
what? We still have to start the show. Yeah, you can't just go into the
guess
word.
What? Then start the show,
Oh,
man.
okay. You want to start the show right now? Okay, we'll start the show.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yet I've flown from one side of this galaxy to the other. I've seen a lot of strange stuff.
Arise, riders of Theoden! Spears shall be shaken! Shields shall be splintered! A sword day! A red day! Ere the sun rises!
Broadcasting from the porch or the basement or whatever realm hasn't banished them yet. It's the Random Word Podcast with your hosts, Ben and Salty Dalton.
Hey,
Welcome in, Rando Nation.
Welcome.
Nationwide is on your side on this Thursday. Welcome in, episode 28 of the Random Word Podcast with your hosts, Ben and Salty Dalton.
I don't know when the transition happened where you introed the show, but it's okay. I don't mind
I just
it.
want to take
It gives
a
you
stab
some
at
sort
it.
of
I've been
responsibility.
studying you. I'm your understudy.
Oh,
So
is
days
that
where-
what understudies do? They study the study?
Yes, you have to become the actor.
So if I get sick or die, you become me.
Yeah, understudies are interesting because, it's like being the backup quarterback. You literally get, I assume you get salaried fairly well.
Yeah.
Because they're literally you're like the next option. So maybe not like an amazing salary, but like they get access to all the show
Everything.
stuff. They get to
The stuff.
record with all
Yep.
the first stringers.
Yep.
And then they just get to sit back and enjoy the ride, especially if you're behind someone who doesn't get sick.
Yeah, that's why being a backup player is probably the greatest thing in the world.
A backup, it depends what position.
It does
But I
depend on
agree.
what
But
position.
a backup quarterback is an amazing job.
So you are the backup quarterback? No, we're both backup quarterbacks, really, to the professional podcasters. Clearly, if we had 30 minutes of unusable audio. This is the Random Word Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the Random Word Podcast. Check our website
At
out.
Salty Dalton, hit me up.
No, don't hit him up.
Get you that follow back.
therandomwordpodcast.com, and then email us at go to the randomwordblog@gmail.com and send us some emails about how much this show has changed your life.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good. I mean, our call center is always filled out with a lot of good emails about people, with questions about what to do. But like, we just kind of want to hear general feedback.
Sure, not even about the show. Just feedback about everything in your daily life.
Oh, you see, we got that Facebook Messenger person back again.
Yeah, I didn't.
So I had
back.
responded after we had talked about it. I went back and I said, "So you're still saying there's a chance or something?"
Yeah.
And they came back and they're like, "Hey, are you there?"
I don't know how to respond to that.
And I responded back.
Oh, what did you say?
And I said, "Not even the heavens could keep us apart."
Oh, did they get back to us from that point?
Let me check.
I don't know. And the name changed. Wasn't it like Menorah or something before?
Now it's Atik. Islam. Not Islam. Is it Islam?
I don't know. But it was...
Is,
it's our Facebook admirer.
Yeah, no kidding. It's pretty wild. Here we go. Random Word Podcast. Oh, there's a notification.
Oh, did they message back?
So we have one from Chelsea from forever ago.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
Yeah, so let me see older messages.
Well, yeah, we talked about it on the show as far as we...
Atik Aslam.
Changed their name, huh? Because it was Manira or something, and we were talking about with her that, we could all fall in love.
Yeah, so after you the last message you sent, November 13th, 2018, was Mo. I guess their name was Mo at that point.
Uh-huh.
Haven't heard from you in a while, ? Still loving me? And you put this cheesy face.
Uh-huh.
And then it said that we had an appointment, and then we missed it. I think that was the appointment for...
What are you talking about? It's just like how we call anybody.
Anyway, so... Oh, my God!
Hey, man. What's up? We're doing the show.
Oh, I forgot Thursday. My bad.
That's okay.
You're
You have
right,
anything to add to the show?
I got a lot to add to the show. I'm actually writing a piece right now.
To the Random Word Podcast?
Yeah, of course, the Random Word Podcast, of course.
Oh, you're writing a piece for us?
Oh, hell yeah.
What do you mean you're writing a piece? You mean an email?
No.
Yes, I'm actually writing an article, and then I'm actually going to put my resume actually in there for you guys to look at.
Oh, a resume. Now that could be interesting. So this is Michael. Michael Serrane, for those at home.
Michael J. Fox.
This is a co-host for the other podcast I do, the DC Crossover. Which is
Crossover.
Over.
Cross 'em up.
Specific podcast for DC sports. So you're preparing a possible resume as what, our social media manager, marketing manager, CFO? What are you thinking?
Well, no, I heard that the CMO position actually has opened up briefly. I saw it on Indeed.com.
Oh, yeah, we did do that posting on Indeed. I kind of forgot that I put a real posting up there. Nice. So you think you're qualified? Here, let's ask him real quick 2 interview questions. We'll each ask him 1 interview question. I'll start.
Okay.
All right. So Miguel, if you see, he works well. If you were any brand of beer, what would you be and why?
Oh, man. Now, that's a trick question because typically you want to go with the beer that everyone likes, but they don't want to say they like it, kind of like a Michelob Ultra.
We drink a lot of Michelob Ultra on this show.
Exactly, yes. It's a quality beer that everyone hates to say they like, but it's actually very good for you.
I don't know if it's... Wait.
It's basically kale in a bottle.
I don't know if it's good for you.
I don't think...
It's a super beer.
I don't think somebody would put in the category of it being good for you, like it will improve your health.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
But anyways, going back to what I was saying, basically after I was rudely interrupted by the interviewer. So really, what you're looking at here is the beer of choice that you really want to be. You don't want to go too low with Keystone or Natty Light or anything like that. Michelob is right up there.
Okay.
I think a lot of people would have that thought process, but in essence, you want to be one of those type of guys that's kind of like a fat tire, kind of like a Belgian beer that everyone likes.
So you're a fat tire.
Yes, fat tire, not flat tire.
So you're a fat. You're a fat tire.
Yes,
that's what you are.
Tire.
You're a fat tire.
Yes,
Got it.
exactly. Fat tire.
Got it. Okay. Salty Dalton, do you have a question for Miguel?
Yeah. If you were trapped in a cardboard box.
So if you were trapped in a cardboard box, I don't know if you can hear him.
It's happened before.
How would you get out?
So yeah.
How would I get out? Well, technically, you want to have some air holes in there Because sometimes if the box,
Yeah, but you're trapped. Like you didn't place yourself into the box. The question is, if you put yourself in a box, how would you get out?
If you woke up in a cardboard box,
you're
that
waking
was it was taped at the top.
Mm-hmm.
How would you get out first?
Yeah.
Okay, how would I get out first? First, I would try to see if there's any signs of life. If anyone would respond, then I would see if I can negotiate.
So you just start yelling?
Any signs of life? Anyone here on this planet with me?
Yeah, I have to see if there's any signs of life out there first off, and
Put you in
if
that
they
box to
have-
save you.
If
Yeah.
there's anyone out there that wants to save me, then they would try to say, okay, maybe we'll negotiate you getting out of this box.
Yeah, I don't think a kidnapper is putting you in a box with all your friends and family nearby.
You know what? Maybe kidnappers never fielded the question, could you please let me out of here?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Maybe
'cause
just
if-
nobody's ever
If
asked.
you're nice to them, it's kind of like being nice to a cop that's having a bad day. If you're nice to them, their mood changes, and then if they already kidnapped you, maybe they say, maybe this is not the right thing to do, and they let you out of the box.
Yeah,
without
yeah,
having
you
any-
know. So, okay, well, that's...
What's in the box?
So how did you... I don't understand your answer. So what is your answer for the first thing you would do is just yell?
Yell for help.
Yell your
Yes,
name?
I would negotiate my way out at first.
Negotiate, okay.
Listen here, you son of a bitch. You let me out of this goddamn box right now.
Okay. Well, this job entails those types of scenarios, so both choosing to be your own beer and possibly being in a box. We will probably get back to you, I'd say probably somewhere, what do you think, Dalton, between
6 to 8 business months.
6 to 8 business months. Just stay by your phone, fax, email. Stand by your mailbox, actually, every day, and maybe you'll get something from us, and we'll keep you posted. Literally.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that information.
Yeah,
I'll be-
Thanks for calling in.
You're welcome.
I didn't know we could have people call into the show, but I guess we can.
You're welcome.
See ya. Oh, well, there's some extra content for the people that missed out on the 30 minutes to start our show. Let's get to the word. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Whatever.
Are you standing on the edge of your seat?
That's fine.
Your word is
Facsimile.
Facsimile.
Facsimile. Facsimile. Facsimile.
Facsimile. What does it mean?
It's a noun and it means an exact copy.
Facsimile. Facsimile. So, facsimile.
Facsimile.
Facsimile. An exact
That's a
copy.
facsimile.
Give me, can you please use it in a sentence, please? Like this is a spelling bee.
Sometimes your boss might hand you a paper and say, please make 30 facsimiles of this.
Oh, I don't
know if that's the correct usage, but it was the first thing that popped in my head.
I
Because
mean,
technically,
an exact copy.
please make me 30 exact copies of this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a boss that if a boss does say that to you, you're probably in a very strange workplace.
Normally, I feel like people use it a lot in reference of like, wow, that's like a facsimile to this other person, or
Okay.
that's a facsimile to this product. It's basically the same product.
So in elementary might have been middle school. In middle school, one time at lunch, this other kid came up to me. I'd never seen him before. He comes up to me and says, "Hey, is your name Ben?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "My name's Ben." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "I just wanted to introduce myself so you know that I'm also Ben." And I was
Nice networking.
All right, man. That's
Getting all the Bens in the
That's
area.
cool. And he's just like, yeah. He just kind of stood there. He didn't like walk away. He was just kind of standing there, and I didn't really know what to say at that point. And he's like, "I'm just glad there are more of us."
Are you guys dying out? I'm just glad
Now,
more of us are out here, you know?
To
just
be
being
fair,
Bens, you know?
I think we
BEN.
both fall in the category of, I don't know about you, but throughout school, there were not a lot of
Actually-
other people with my name, Ben. And Benjamin's not like a crazy name, obviously, but like I just happened to not, besides this one freak.
Actually,
I
there's
didn't
only,
really have a lot of,
I've only met maybe like,
yeah, you have a unique name, I feel like.
maybe 3 Bens.
Oh, I was thinking Dalton.
Oh, no, so the only other Dalton I've actually
Yeah.
met,
Yeah.
in Colorado, I was really young too, but for some reason, I remember this vividly.
Is there another Dalton Facebook? Have you
There
looked
are
at
a
it?
few.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, sorry. I said your last name. I'll bleep that out.
I remember there was like a, I was in a museum or something, and I remember there being a lot of dinosaur bones around.
Yeah.
But I remember running around this exhibit, and I ran into this kid like head 1st.
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it was the zoo, and we both fell down, and we got up, and he was like, "Oh, hey, my name's Dalton."
Oh my god!
And I was like,
What if you switched brains in that moment?
And I was like, "My name's Dalton," and then we both ran off to our parents. I never saw the kid again, but
Yeah.
other than that,
What if like
I played
he
played
went with
online
your
with
parents?
somebody.
Like, what if you accidentally went with his parents and he went with your parents? You
Dude,
guys switched families in that
what
moment,
if? I mean, it's possible.
or bodies entirely.
So that's the only Dalton I've actually like straight up physically met, I think.
Sure.
And then on Xbox Live in middle school, this gamer tag requested to be my friend or something. It said "not lad," which is Dalton backwards. And I accepted it, and we played in Call of Duty together. Something. I was like, "Hey man, is your name Dalton?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "My name is Dalton too." And he's like, "Are you serious?" And so we played like 10 games together, and never saw him again or talked to him again.
It's weird. It's a weird experience. Of course, when I'm on email, if I ever have another Ben, I kind of throw in that joke like, "Hey, nice name, by the way." But then I'm always worried that they don't pick it up. Like maybe they like don't.
Thanks,
all the
I
way
got
go
it for my birthday.
Or if they like don't go all the way down to the email signature and they're just kind of like, "What are you talking? Why are you saying my name's nice?" Because they don't see that
Nice name,
I'm also a Ben.
I like it. I want to wear it.
Yeah, so I try
I
to
want to
make,
put it on your name.
I try to not get across that creepy vibe, but sometimes I'm like, "Hey, nice name, by the way."
Okay,
like, I'm
why
not
would
trying
you
to have
ever,
sex with you.
Why would you say it? Like,
Well, no, I don't say it like that. It's on
How
email.
do you say it? You got to deliver it like,
I don't like put it in italics.
"Hey,
That's
kid, nice name."
or like a sexy font, like Arial
Ben, size
or
46.
Rubik 1. That's a sexy font if we ever use Rubik 1.
Wing-
Actually, I use that for the show.
You should do it in Wingdings.
Wingdings. Nobody could read it.
I
Nobody could read
know.
it.
They'd have to highlight it and
I don't even-
translate it.
But Wingdings doesn't even have like a symbol system that makes sense.
It doesn't. I don't understand what
like who came up with Wingdings?
What is Wingdings?
I don't know. Maybe we can talk about it on the next show. We can do some research.
We could. Actually, I'm going to send you the show format and
In
all
Wingdings?
Wingdings next.
Yeah, and who was like, you know what? We've got enough regular fonts. Like you can do this to that and do that to that. I've got a whole different idea. What we're gonna do is going to take a bunch of random symbols. We're gonna call it Wingdings, and that's gonna be a new font. And
Some of the fonts on Microsoft Word, I'm sorry, I don't know how some of those became like fonts you'd ever use.
yeah,
Some of them
I
were
use
like,
five
"Hey,
different
you want
fonts.
this jumbled, weird, creepy cursive script where you can't read
anything,
anything?"
yeah.
And I'm like, who uses that?
No,
And finding the right font is so hard, but it can make or break. Like,
I mean I design a lot of
anything you're
stuff.
doing. Yeah, anything you're doing, like having the right font is key.
It is.
But I don't want to wade through 422 different styles of like, someone's
It's
like,
too many. There's too many
it's
fonts.
like MS Gothic, and then MS Gothic Light, and then MX Gothic Twisted.
Give
and
me,
like it's all
like-
these different versions.
Give me
It's
like
they-
10 different fonts, and I will use those 10 fonts the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. Don't give me 500 fonts. And you can buy fonts online. Like people have made
Yeah,
fonts
some
and
pe-
they
and they're-
sell them.
and they're great fonts.
Like I was trying to use
like they're fantastic, but I don't want to buy it.
I was trying to create something for the show with like Lord of the Rings type font, and I was trying to get the exact font, but the only way you could do it was buying the Lord of the
license,
Rings
yeah.
font online, and it was like, no, I'm not trying to make Lord of the Rings. I'm just trying to use the lettering that's similar to that. Even though I feel like we could come up with another Lord of the Rings movie easily.
Oh, you know what? Me and my buddy, me and Alex did.
Uh-huh.
When we were in elementary school, so we were reading the books.
Oh, yes.
Because we're
Classics.
hardcore LOTR nerds.
Yes.
That stands for Lord of the Rings.
Yep. I think the fans at home could figure that out.
So we were super into it, and so me and him had only read the first 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
We had seen the movies, and at this point, I don't think the last movie had come out yet, Return of the King, and we wrote Lord of the Rings,
Oh my
complete with illustrations.
Jesus.
He said he found it like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him again if it's
Please,
somewhere
because
at
we
his house.
we can read it on the show.
I drew we came up with the entire ending, and it's actually sort of similar, except Gimli died somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
But we killed off something of them jumping into the volcano.
Sure.
Where, but a lot of people died. But we would write the actual script, and I drew the tree people, like Jack and people.
The Ents. They're called the Ents.
The Ents. It was insane. It was
Wow.
insane. Like we went to crazy.
Yeah.
Like we wrote pages and pages of this.
That's like when I transcribed Artemis Fowl code and figured out what the
try
Artemis.
To figure out what the did
yeah,
you solve it?
it's always I did. I spent a whole summer working on
Were
that.
you the first one? Because I know there's a prize for it.
Oh no, I wasn't the first one. I was the probably the only one. So I did think I spent like a month.
Do you remember
of
what it said?
summertime.
I actually
No, it was some like elvish like folk tale or something like
Okay.
that. It was cool though for nobody but me.
I read all those books too.
Yeah.
I loved them. They were great.
They're supposed to be. I think I saw a trailer for a new
movie.
Artemis Fowl movie. But that rumor's
If
been
they
going on for
ruin-
like 10 years.
It has. If they ruin that book for me, I swear to God.
We'll see. So the word is facsimile. That is the word. You can take that word.
Facsimile.
Here's the whole thing. If you listen to the show and actually spend the time listening to us, that means you are interested in learning about words. So the challenge for you is use facsimile in the next sentence that you speak
actually-
to another human.
Please try to use it in your everyday life.
Use every single word
I got
that we said.
facsimile from that's today's word on the word calendar.
Oh, I'm glad you're using that gift. That gift
about-
that I gave you.
Since the start of the new year, about like 90% of our words have been from the word
Pretty
calendar.
good. That's pretty good. I thought it looked.
Some of
made
them are like
sense.
really crazy, and I'm like, I don't want to type
Yeah.
it. That's half the thing. Is like I don't want to write up this long word.
I got you. All right, time to get to our sponsors here. We're going to do things a little differently, but you'll find
Sponsors
that out
has
here.
been a little lacking in my
Sure,
opinion, and
sure.
it
We've
just
run out
doesn't
of
seem like
ideas.
we're drawing quite attention we did the first time. We'll never get better than Rockets.
So we have some specific sponsors that we do want to shout out this week, and you may recognize some of these names, Salty Dalton. Maybe
Yep.
maybe that's
well,
not the right
we
music.
could do the second one first with that.
How about? There we go. That's good
Introducing
for that.
from Mattel for the first time in
From Mattel.
stores near you, the Drive Wash. It's the first multifunctional driveway car wash system made for the savvy homeowner. We're talking multi-directional nozzles.
Or Home Onward, if you're reading it the way you wrote it.
Home onward.
Home
Home onward, my friend. Yeah, it's an incredible invention. Basically, you order it with the discount code RWP. You save 20% off the top, and you get free shipping to any location inside the continental United States. It's very easy to set up. It takes 2 people, about
Takes
30
2 people.
minutes. You hook up a common garden hose, and you now have a functional car wash at the end of your driveway. No more will you have to wait in lines at gas stations. Maybe even just wash your car with your hands like a savage. It's time to enter the 21st century in the best way we know how. It's time to enter the 21st century hands-free. We're bringing you Drive Wash.
Drive Wash. I like the idea of you pitching my invention
Yeah.
and then me promoting yours.
You know how much better I made that sound?
Coming up. Debatable. But we have another great sponsor to promote here. Now look, people at home, it's accidents, they happen. You've got that extra squish of ketchup from your sandwich and plop. Oh God, this is a new dress shirt.
Not again!
And I've got a big meeting coming up later that will decide the rest of my career.
I was supposed to show them those reports.
All of those reports.
All of them.
All of them. So guess what, folks?
What am I gonna do?
You're in the middle of the city, right? I mean,
God,
what do I...
I can't
Oh,
go to
God.
that high-end clothing store.
No, what are you just gonna buy a new shirt? No. People, stop panicking, because here is what's gonna happen to you. Flip open your phone, if you
Okay.
still use a flip phone. Dial up Too Close, Too Furious,
Close, too furious.
and that will bring our representatives to your location with a full laundry list. Haha, laundry, that's a clothes pun. List of options for you to trade out and rent some clothes. We've got dress shirts. We've got short sleeve dress shirts if you're one of those guys. You know what I mean. Maybe if you need an extra tie, a pair of dress pants, dress shoes. We have got it all. And you can rent it. You get it for, you can choose what period of time you need it. As soon as you're done, flip open your phone again, dial up our representatives, we'll swing by. You can throw it, you don't even have to wait till the car to stop. You can throw it through the open window. Too close, too furious. Accidents can happen, but fashion is made.
I love it.
Too close,
Too furious.
too furious. Those are our two
Yeah, that's
sponsors
good. I actually
here.
like that idea of us pitching different ideas.
Each other.
Each other,
That
so.
usually are pretty bad because, like, I don't know why you would want to wear somebody else's dirty clothes, which is how you described that invention. Speaking of inventions, now we get to go from those wonderful sponsors that exist. By the way, for Too Close, Too Furious, if you download the app today, type in the code RWP. That will get you 20% off your first delivery fee for this service. So if you type that code in, the first order that you make, the first rental that you make, you get 20% off.
It's got to be 20%, just like mine.
Oh, was yours 20%?
No,
I wasn't paying
20%,
attention.
and free shipping.
Let's say 21. It's 21%. There's no shipping. They're driving it to you for this one.
That is shipping. That's literally the definition of shipping.
Maybe. It's time for Fishbowl.
Dun, 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 dun.
How about we invent another way
Wait for
to
it.
get back the 30 minutes of the show that we did?
Yeah, right?
That would be great.
Oh, welcome to Fishbowl.
Fishbowl.
I'm feeling it.
It's time to flex our brains a little
And
bit.
our fishtails.
And I guess you could flex a tail. It's a muscle, right?
Oh, yeah, flex on them, son.
Yeah. It's time to flex our big brains and tails here. And Salty Dalton and I get to reveal some inventions, business opportunities, investment opportunities. All the people at home, if you are interested in investing, email us at the Random Word Podcast Inventions Investment Opportunities / Investment Opportunities at yahoo.com. It's a separate email account specifically for if you have any invention ideas or are interested in investing. Would you like to go first, or is it me?
Who went first last time?
I never remember.
God.
It's just a week away, and I just
I'll
don't
go.
remember.
I
You
don't
want to go
mind.
first? Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
All
I
right.
don't care.
All right. Well, I'll turn
This
things
is all made
over.
up anyway.
Made up? No, I don't know what you mean.
Fishes.
You don't have a garage filled with all of your inventions at home? Am I the only one?
All right, Fishes, thank you for taking the time to see me. Trust me, you'll be sold about 20 seconds in.
Okay. Well, you've got about 50
I'm coming
seconds to
to you
go.
with the tool. I'm coming to you with an incredible opportunity to get on the ground floor of the newest survival technology around. I'm talking tent grenade, the deployable tent system. Think about it. You are stranded. Maybe you're camping. Putting up a tent is
Stranded and camping, two very different.
Well,
experiences.
different-
Sorry, keep going. 25 seconds.
Putting up a tent is a painful ordeal sometimes. You don't, does this rod go here? Oh no, that rod keeps breaking down. Oh, my tent is it's got a hole in it or something. With a tent grenade, all you have to do is find an appropriate campsite, pull the pin, and throw it on the ground, and boom, instant tent, fully
I
decked
feel like
out.
you should have chosen
tent
the other
grenade.
one. You should have chosen the other one. Tent grenade. So it's okay. So
I think the other one is actually better, which is why I want to go with this one.
Okay, so you want to save it.
Save it.
Okay, so in theory, we're talking about, you know how they have those mattresses now where they come in a very small box and you order them, and then they ship to you, and you
unroll
open
them.
and it actually
Okay, but that takes like 2
expands.
hours. Yes.
Okay,
No,
so
so a tent grenade. So it's in the shape of a
I
regular.
like how you
grenade.
described like that's dumb, and then your idea, brilliant.
So it basically it looks.
Yes,
and
I know what a
feels
grenade
like a
is.
real grenade.
There's one right there.
Yes.
It's alive.
And basically, you pull the pin, throw it at the ground, and what it will do is we have a special compacting technology that has a full-size tent constrained within that grenade, and then when it pops open, it's already built, unfolded, and the best part is, guess what?
There's no way.
You don't have to unpack it.
But if you have like rods,
it's
and stuff,
biodegradable. You can just dip out.
if you have like rods and stuff, how is that gonna work?
I can't disclose a proprietary tent construct. If you would like to file a claim with our legal team, that's fine. But you don't have to understand the technology to appreciate the technology. So basically, it's a tent deploying system, instant shelter for survivalists, soldiers, weekend trips with the friends. Never have to lug around a tent ever again.
What's the
with
price point?
Tent system.
How much does it cost?
It's $99 per tent system.
Jesus, $99.
Tents are actually pretty expensive.
But you can only use them once.
You can.
You can't put that back into the grenade.
No,
So it costs
obviously you
$100,
Yes.
and you can only use it once.
Think about it in the sense of this. Don't think of it as just a weekend activity. You're not just throwing grenades all over.
You literally just said weekend campers.
It's part of that. Sure, you can use it if you're going on a weekend trip. Like, oh crap, I don't have a tent with me. Grab a tent grenade, throw it on the ground, blow
But
it up.
I just spent $100.
Basically, though,
on
you should keep it as survival gear. Okay, you have your survival pack or whatever. You should always have it on you in case of an emergency, inclement weather. Boom, throw the tent.
Okay.
It's more of a survival tool, but there's plenty of commercial aspects. And I only heard one, and there should be at least 5.
There's
beats
2.
coming
There's
this way.
two stars for that invention idea. There's a lot of question marks and a lot of changing of the story, and $100 is a lot of money. So
I'm sorry. Yeah.
it's my turn here. All right, fishes. Look, we talked about this earlier. We're all getting fat. That's just how
Especially me at work.
the world's going, especially Salty Dalton.
Apparently.
But you know what? Sometimes when you're looking through exercise programs, things like that, they're for people that are already in good shape.
Yeah,
and that's
they've got
the tough
8
thing.
packs.
Yeah, and so like when I go to the gym, not that I'm fat, but if I go to the gym and I go on this specific program, it's like, man, this is really, really difficult because I'm not already in shape. Well, guess what? Here's what we have invented. An exercise training program specifically made for fat people. Get fit or don't, we make money anyway. It is Fat Fit. The Fat Fit program will allow for long breaks, for whatever food consumption that you would like. If you would like to have a lower amount of reps because you want to just leave the gym earlier, it accommodates for that as well. Basically, you get to kind of make it up as you go, and there's no pressure. And again, we make money regardless because you're paying for the program. Fat Fit. Get fit or don't, we make money anyway. That is the program.
What you just described was every workout program ever?
No.
So what makes yours different? Because you also just said like you can do whatever you want. So at that point, it's just
so you can do whatever you want, but there's specific guidelines for people of larger carriage. So again, more breaks. There's no real diet restrictions whatsoever. And in fact, there's encouragement to eat a lot of like bad food.
I assume
with just like a little bit of exercise like thrown in there. Usually put in like the beginning part of the year is kind of where the program runs, and then the rest of the year you kind of go back to your normal routine. So it's a exercise training program specifically made for larger people. Fat Fit.
Fat Fit.
Yeah. Get fit or don't. We make money anyway. So that is the slogan. I think this is a winner, chicken dinner.
Maybe like 2.
Any other questions?
2 or 3 stars.
Regarding?
No, man, I'm fresh out.
So I'll go 3 stars. By the way, in case you were wondering, the package is $29.95 a month.
A month. You're paying for a month. Are you paying for the months that you aren't going?
You have to commit for at least a year.
So a year sign up. Okay.
A year sign up.
So you're paying to just continue living your life normally.
Because that's what you're doing when you get a gym membership anyways, if you're fat. Because most of the time you're not going back to the gym. So it's kind of the same thing.
I think it'd be interesting if you had like a gym system that, like the gym that you signed up with, would actively punish you if you didn't show up. Like, if you hadn't scanned in
imagine this
4 days, like someone shows up at your house and it's like, hey man, it's time to go.
Or every time that you don't go to the gym, your card gets charged an additional like $5 to your fee.
Dude, yeah.
But then everybody would just cancel.
I guess. Well, unless you wrote the contract saying that if you canceled, you had to pay the remaining months plus 20 months per month or something.
Yeah.
That's all you'd have to do. Once you get them to sign that and they don't read, because everyone clicks, yes, I've agreed to the terms and conditions.
There's like 10 pages for a gym contract, and it doesn't make any sense. Why does there need to be that many pages? It's because they put some shady shit in there.
Yeah, and so like I think that'd be an interesting dynamic if like you skip the gym twice and then all of a sudden Chad from the front desk is like, hey man, I've got a car outside.
Like you sign up to an initial commitment. If you don't come outside,
I'm dragging you out.
Yeah, you sign up to an initial commitment. You're like, I'm going to the gym like 3 or 4 times a week or whatever. It's like, all right, that's what you're committing to.
Yeah.
And then you get like 1 or 2 like freebie weeks for like vacations and stuff. And then besides that,
you actually have to request PTO at the gym.
If you don't clock in for that amount of time, your rates go up. It's like insurance when you get into accidents. It goes up. Except for the accident is your life.
What? The accident is your life? You were in accident.
So we have a new segment here. We'll see how this goes. We've got a concept. Let me go ahead and play the intro here.
Welcome, my friends, to the first ever playing of a new sport. A sport of my own devising.
This segment is called Calvin Ball.
For those of you who are fans of the original comic book by Bill Watterson, Calvin and Hobbes, Calvin Ball is a sport created completely of his own volition with no rules. In fact, so many rules, there are no rules.
So the way this is going to work...
I love the music.
Thank you. I wrote it myself, directed it myself, played it myself. The way this will work is Salty, Dalton, and I are going to take turns about various features of a typical game or sport, and we're just going to see if we can create our own sport here today. So the way this is going to work is we have specific guidelines, specific things, questions that need to be addressed. And we're going to go back and forth and take turns addressing those sections until at the very end we should have some sort of a semblance of a game or sport.
Do you want to start off with, like, what should we call this game?
So
it's got to be something like Rando
We
Ball.
should start with a name because then you can build off of that name. So I will let you go first, and then so you will address the name, and then I will address the next section, and we'll just go back and forth until we have ourselves a sport.
Okay.
So we'll start with the name. So what is the name of our sport?
Rando Ball.
Rando Ball is the name of the sport. Okay, the next question is how many players are on a team in Rando Ball? So that goes to me. In Rando Ball, you're going to need 6 players to a team, and 4 teams are playing at one time.
So you got 24 players on the field?
6, 12, 20, yeah, 18, 24.
Did you have to count that
so
out?
6,
what about, do we got bench players? Is there depth?
So yes, there's a depth chart. You have at least, let's say, 15 players on the roster. 6 players are playing at one time. So there's 4 teams of 6 players.
Okay, so
that is how many players are on a team.
So 4 teams of 6 players. Your 6 players are split up into different positions.
Yes. Yeah. What are the positions on the team?
You have lead fork.
Lead fork.
You have side spoon.
Okay. You're taking notes here? Or sport?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You have the lead fork.
Uh-huh.
You have side spoon.
Okay. Lead fork, side spoon.
You have back knife.
Back knife. These are all food related.
And you have spork. And spork is sort of more of a utility player who can cover both the roles of.
Is that 6?
That's 4. And you have cup and you have plate.
Okay.
So you have your lead fork. You have the side spoon
Sure.
position. You have the back knife, the spork, and the spork can actually cover for the fork or the side spoon. So you're limited what you can do in your position, but
Sure.
the spork can fill both roles.
Okay.
And then you have your traditional cup and your plate in the
Got
backfield.
Got it. Okay. So you've got those are the positions. My next will be what equipment is used for this game. So the equipment for this game is the reason why it's so fun is because it's a combination of a few things. Now, the dishware that Salty Dalton just mentioned is actually the dishware that you are holding during the game. So what position you're playing is the dishware that you're holding during the game, but you at the end of whatever that dishware is a ball. So, example, think of your typical fork.
There are six balls in play for each player.
There are 6 balls, but a literal fork or spoon or plate is attached to that ball. So if it's a plate, the ball is balancing on the plate, and you're holding it like this.
If it's a fork, you have to hold the ball with the fork.
100%.
That's why it's such a hard position.
And with
that's
the
why
spoon,
lead fork.
You need your high dexterity athletes at that position. What kind of jerseys do the players wear? Is my question to you.
So it's sort of like you have a tank top, but it's got one long sleeve down the side.
Yes, because I don't know why you would have one long sleeve.
Well, it's your lead arm.
Oh, right. Lead arm.
Your lead arm is the arm that's carrying your
Sure.
utensil and ball.
I should have thought of that.
It's got special padding designed for some of the more difficult moves, like the underslide and the over dip.
Yep, the over dip. Yep. The lefty loosey.
So it's a one sleeved jersey, complete with a kilt and track shoes.
And you can't wear any underwear under the kilt.
No, that's part. I mean,
if you're a woman, yes, you can wear underwear. We're not trying to make it weird. But if you're a male,
you just made it weird.
Okay.
So you wear a kilt and
Yes.
the one-sleeved shirt,
Uh-huh.
complete
And
with your kit.
Are they coordinated to all the other colors of your team?
So basically, what happens is every team has the same base color, and then depending on what position you are, you have that emblem on your chest and back.
Okay. The question to me is, what playing surface do you use for this? So, for this game, it's very simple: blacktop surface. So there's a lot of blacktops
Jesus Christ.
in the world and in the country. So you do wear knee pads. You forgot to mention that part.
Yes,
you do wear
you
knee
have-
pads. It is played on a blacktop in a like 4 square type scenario as far as kind of how it's laid out. But as far as how the points are scored, I will turn things back to you.
So essentially, your team has to protect the rando balls, which are on the end of your utensils. Now, other utensils are going to have an easier time carrying. And so you basically have to work as a team to knock the balls off of other teams' players while protecting your own. But the
Yes.
big thing is that the cup and the plate are not allowed to leave your play area.
Yep.
So you have to simultaneously attack and defend the cup and the plate with your fork, spoon, and spork.
And don't forget, you can only use your feet to be able to like knock the ball or fork out of the people's hands. You cannot use your hands. So you have to use your feet, which can get awkward when you're in a kilt and you're a man.
And so now there's also a hierarchy to this. So in much like chess,
This is a lot like chess.
yeah.
It's a mental man's game.
you're limited to, depending on your role, you're limited to the directions that you can move.
Sure.
So forks can only go in straight lines. Spoons can only attack diagonally.
Oh, I like that. I like
The
this.
knife can only spin in circles.
Yep.
Often the knife is normally kept near the cup and the plate as it's
Yeah.
low mobility,
Yep.
but high attack radius.
Yes.
And your
Yes.
spork actually can combine both the spoon and the fork, so it's got free roam. And often, probably the more prized players, the higher paid players, the skill players are at the spork because they're responsible for taking down the other players. And so basically, only a spoon can take down a knife, but only a fork can take down a spoon. So you kind of have to work within the confines of that.
And another wrinkle to this that we forgot to mention is certain teams, when you get to a certain point when you're down, when you lose your fork, you actually can call out salad fork. And what will happen is you can actually get back into the game, but you now have to use a salad fork.
smaller
A
fork.
smaller fork. Now, it's the only chance for... So the fork is one of the stronger players on the team, obviously. So that's why he does have the opportunity to come back into the game. But the only way he can come back into the game is if the knife is able to defeat one of the opponents on the other team.
Yes, that's how you get the salad fork.
Yes.
So for every enemy you kill, they drop their fork, which becomes a salad fork. And so, generally
Yes.
speaking, the knife's job is to take out as many forks as possible
Yes.
in order to build up a number of respawns.
And depending on what region of the country that you're playing in, some regions do utilize the soup spoon. We don't personally condone that part of the game, but you can possibly introduce the soup spoon, which in some regions of the country, it's actually a much more physical game because you actually take the soup spoon and you hit your other opponents with it, and we don't condone that part. It's like it's played in very small towns across.
It's not generally
Yeah.
licensed within the Random
Yeah.
Ball official guidebook.
So at the end of the day, to win the game, you must be the last team with the most members remaining, and the
But there is a caveat.
Yes.
For underdogs to win, somewhere on the field is actually
the courts, because it's on blacktop. Yeah.
somewhere on the blacktop.
Yeah.
There's a hidden bonus, much like finding the snitch.
Yep, it's exactly like fighting the snitch.
You have to find the golden ladle.
Ooh,
Now-
the golden ladle. All hail the golden ladle.
If you happen to grab the golden ladle, you then kind of it's like a power up. You're given an extra salad fork for your team.
Yep.
And you are able to fully contact and attack other players at will.
Yeah.
So often,
Not only with your feet, but with your elbows.
so
at that
often when the
point.
golden ladle is found, almost all the teams will gang up
But you
on the
have
person
to chant
with
all
the
hail
ladle.
the golden ladle.
Yes, while you're doing this. But it can kind of provide an edge, and it also gives your team bonus points
Yep.
in the final scoring.
Any final thoughts about Rando Ball? As far as I'm
No,
trying to
man,
remember
it's-
any details that we forgot here, as far as Rando Ball goes, but. This is one of those sports that it's growing strong. I think it's
It
up.
is. It's,
we're having the latest Rando Ball tournament is actually taking place in Tampa, Florida, and not actually Tampa, Florida, but a small city suburb outside of Tampa, Florida, like a very specific neighborhood. The championship games will
make
be
sure
playing this year.
you can tune in. You can watch it. Go to http ://
Yep.
BuzzFeed/outside/sports for more.
Yes, and then you can also go to our website. You can find the website
Randoball.net.
randoball.net or .eu for those European listeners. So that is Rando Ball, and the segment is Calvin Ball. That is our sport that we just invented right now, and actually went pretty well. I think it's a great sport.
I just with the knee pads, like, why'd you have to put the balls on the end of the fork?
Because that's how the game is played, Salty Dalton.
You're right.
We got another game here. It's called Do's and Don'ts.
Do it! Just do it! I don't think so. Just do it!
Time to give some do's and don'ts. This is a part of the show where we give some advice, some things you should do, things you should not do in these specific scenarios. We've got a couple here.
The Random Word Podcast.
What'd you just say?
I'm your host.
What do you?
Ben and Salty Dalton.
Oh yeah, none of this has been recording, by the way. No, just kidding. We have to restart the show.
Just a little drop.
Oh, I hit the wrong thing.
Do it!
No, we're not listening to that.
No, we are. All right, so do's and don'ts. Here are the scenarios. We'll go through the first one here. The first one will be something that you do quite often, Salty. I don't do as much with my current job, but I did a lot with my last job, work presentations. So the type of situation where possibly you're in a position where you got to present some data or some facts, some figures, some sort of representation of the fact that you are actually doing work for the company.
Yeah, and I think so. In a lot of different situations, people often, you throw it under public speaking. And what's ironic about public speaking is it's terrible.
Yes.
And the only way to get better at it is to just do it.
Do it. Just
so
do
there
it.
are very
That's why
few
Nike
people
said
that
that.
are naturally. It was about public speaking.
So what is your do for a work presentation though?
So for a work presentation, obviously it's got to be fairly professional. So the first thing that you need to start with is dress for the occasion. You're going to be leading a meeting. You need to dress like you should be leading the meeting. Three-piece suit, top hat. Actually, you might even go full tuxedo.
Well, if you want to look the most professional, yeah.
You want to have a lot of laser pointers, enough laser pointers to pass out to every person in the meeting room. That way, they too can circle different things that they want.
Yeah, that they want to specifically be focused on.
Right, and so you got a lot of lasers flying around the room. It's a lot easier for people to kind of talk about what they want to talk about. But you need to kind of you need to set the tone early with your outfit, and you need to
outfit's super crucial.
You need to stand out, and you need to be in charge. Much like a male peacock spreads his feathers, you too must spread your own feathers.
My do is so sometimes it's a long day. People are tired. You're giving a long presentation. People may be falling asleep. So what you want to do to combat that is actually, you can buy these at any of your local kind of stores, is you buy these mini firecrackers and you place them at different points around the room and then kind of set them with a timer to go off at different parts of your presentation. So you have to time this up ahead of time.
Interesting.
But that way, throughout your presentation, if somebody is falling asleep, a loud boom or cracking noise will happen, and then that will wake them up and get them engaged with your presentation.
Oh, it's flawless. I don't see any gaps in that idea.
No, and if you work in the government especially, you shouldn't see any problems of having any sort of like loud noises
or
happen.
PTSD. No, definitely not. No history of
especially
that.
if you're working with any former Army or military. Yep.
So for a don't for work presentations, do not forget to bring candy.
Yep.
Because what you want to do is you want to make the presentational and interactive. So maybe every couple slides you throw a little question up there like, who's the best boss? And they'll be like, what? And then someone will answer like, this guy. And be like, correct.
Yeah.
And no matter what they say,
Skittles, M&Ms,
you could have any question up there and ask them to answer it. And if whatever they say, you throw them a candy, say, good job, thanks for listening. Way to stay engaged.
Yeah.
And what you're doing right there is you're providing a reward for the participation, and so they're going to be more focused on what you have to say because you hold the candy.
Candy, anytime you're at a presentation and they're giving out money or candy, super important. There's a guy once that gave a presentation, he like asks a question, and if you answer it, he'll be like, all right, here's $40, and getting like the one guy that was brave enough to answer and then everybody starts answering the questions, and he goes, actually, that was all I had. And
it's amazing
it's super effective
how well that works.
Yeah, so
when you have prizes on the line,
100%.
People are like, oh hell yeah.
So my don't button every single button on your shirt. And this is another way to keep people engaged. You would think this wouldn't be, but it is. So if you leave like an open button like in the middle of your shirt, you're going to have somebody so focused because they're going to be focused on, God, does this guy know that his shirt is unbuttoned? Why won't he just button it?
You need to have a crazy-ass shirt underneath, too, enough where they can only see a piece of it.
Like you just need to have like a pink leotard like underneath your shirt.
Yeah.
And like so that way the person is going to be paying attention the whole time because they're going to be so focused on the fact that that button's unbuttoned and be wondering about that, but they'll
100%.
still be taking in the information. So that is the presentations. What is the next category we're working with here, Salty Dalton?
Appraising antiques.
Praising antiques.
So for those of you who
Antique
watch
Roadshow.
Antique Roadshow, who are fans of Pawn Shop,
Yep.
or Pawn Stars.
Yeah.
Is it Pawn Stars?
There's a lot
That's
of them. There's like
awful
2 or
close to
3
porn
of them.
Stars.
Yeah.
Pawn Stars.
It's like you're singing in a weird accent, like I'm just a pawn star.
A Pawn Star.
Yeah.
Gross.
Are you though? Are you a pawn star? What if I always wonder about this? Not that I watch porn, but when I did, it was always like
once
one of those
by
things.
accident when it was left open on a browser.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I was always wondering, like, man, what if I'm like watching this and suddenly I do see somebody that I know
that you know? Yeah, I bet
that's
it happens.
Terrifying.
Think about it. The massive how big the porn industry is.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people who are like, I know that person.
Especially if you see like.
And I feel like that's a very strange thing because that either makes it or breaks it for them.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. It
Weird
could go
stuff.
a lot of different ways.
It could.
Sorry.
Anyway,
appraising
appraising
antiques. Yeah.
Hey.
Speaking of porn, antiques. So we're praising antiques.
What's a do?
So in this scenario, am I the one appraising the antique, or am I the one with the antique?
In this scenario, we are appraising the antique.
We are
this is ways, many of us out there sometimes are handed things and asked, hey, what's this? Do you know what this is? What's its value? You are in a position where you can inform them of what they own.
Got it. Okay. So some people take the mistake and think, okay, this is an old thing. I shouldn't like move it around, or I should be gentle with it. But here's the thing. When the people were existing with this thing, they weren't gentle with it.
Equipment.
It was their normal stuff. So what you're going to do is you want to try to get in the mindset of the person that was originally using it. So, if it's like, so kind of maybe toss it in the air a little bit, swing it around, make sure that it still has full functionality and is limber. Like it's, and so you want to move it around a lot. If there's moving parts, make sure to move them to make sure that it still works. Like if it's an antique clock, like twist it around with your finger, and then just making that helps you kind of understand. Okay, this is how the people at that time period would have used this. That's my do.
Okay,
you took a long pause there.
I'm sorry.
Are you struggling over there?
There's a pregnant pause.
Okay, gotcha.
I tried to yawn without opening my mouth.
Man, how tired are you?
Pretty
You get to
tired.
sleep in tomorrow.
Yeah, I do. Well, it's either that or...
Well, you probably get up with the dogs, but then like...
But this is just it. The last time I did this, I got up with the dogs, right?
Yeah.
I tried to go back to sleep, but I let the dogs roam
Yeah.
downstairs, and they were just like, where's Dalton? Like, they just started barking.
Yeah.
And so I got back up at like 4:45. I was like, all right, well, I'm clearly not going to be able to go back to bed. So I just started playing video games.
Ooh.
From like 4:45 in the
In the
morning.
morning?
By the time I was tired of playing video games, like I had put in a solid like 3 hours.
And it was only like 8
like
a.m.
8 a.m. I was like,
You have a whole
okay,
day ahead of you.
time to make breakfast, little coffee. It was
Back to video games.
I'm not gonna lie, because I get up that early anyway. It's not like I'm missing out on sleep.
Yeah.
It's not a bad move,
It's not bad.
honestly, because like it's kind of like
You feel like you can still do stuff in your day.
because like when I was younger, sometimes I'd pull all-nighters to like
Yeah, same.
finish levels of whether it be Zelda or whatever
Yep.
it is. But I'm just playing through the night, and I remember my dad would come downstairs and he'd be like, "You're up really early," and I was like, "Or just up really late." It depends how you swing it. But he was just like, "You woke up that early to play?" I was like, "Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is definitely the first time I'm playing it today."
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's awesome.
Anyway, so do for appraising antiques.
Yeah, what you do?
So basically, you want to overwhelm the other person with your
do.
knowledge about the subject because they don't know what they're looking at. Otherwise, they wouldn't be asking you. So you're gonna want to keep a couple different names sort of at the top of your head, like Heiselhoff or the Von Dor, and basically you just put method at the end of that, and you can say, hey, if you look right here, it's actually been finished with the Von Dor method, which makes it very authentic and holds the piece well together.
It has the Swinkle loop.
Yes, and you point and you say, don't you see how that loops?
The Swinkle loop.
And they're going to just be like, yeah, I guess I do see that. You say, yes, it's the Hochvenhoff method right here, and it's gonna just skyrocket the value.
Yeah,
because
that's
you can make up whatever you want about it as long as
you're looked at as the expert.
Yes, you're the expert there. So what you say is law. Therefore, if you make up a name and put method at the end, 9 times out of 10 they're going to believe you.
My suggestion to you as an appraiser is, and this isn't any sort of business, is don't be afraid to walk away. And that means maybe you're in the middle of your appraisal, or they just handed you the object, and you just go, you know what? And then you just walk away. Don't be afraid to walk away. It's a good business strategy
with
too.
With or without the object.
Depends on what you want to get across there. But it's the same thing in negotiation. Is if somebody's in the middle of negotiating with you, don't be afraid to walk away. And I mean literally, get up and walk away. And that's actually a tactic that can work to your advantage, because they'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Did I offend you with something I said? I'll do whatever you want. And you can win the argument. You can win the appraisal, even though you're not really winning anything. But yeah, don't be afraid to walk away. That's my advice.
Interesting.
It's good advice.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Don't forget.
Don't be afraid to bark during the entire podcast.
Yeah. When you're appraising antiques,
as I do,
don't ever touch the antique with your bare hands. In order to seem...
Or your bare hands.
Oh my God, that man has bare hands.
Covered in fur.
I'm a monster.
I was born with these. I can't help it. My father screwed a bear.
Oh God!
And it was a weird section of the. And then you watch the porno, and you go, "Oh my God, that's my mom," and it's a bear. It brings flashbacks.
Half bear, half man. 1 foot in both worlds.
What if the only
wanted by neither?
The only part of the bear that he gets is the hands. That's the only part of the bear.
That's the most fascinating thing to me. Is like when you think about like different breeds and stuff like that. Like, what if that applied, like, selective things? Like, think about a centaur. The first centaur...
Wait. How did you say that word?
Centaur?
What? Okay, it's not centaur.
It's centaur.
Centaur, yeah.
So the first...
Centaur?
Think about the first centaur. Like, how else did that come apart? A man?
Yeah.
A horse? But, like, think about the centaur that came out. It was like, oh, my God. Yeah. They're like, hey, I'm a human. Oh my God.
And they look down, yeah.
Yeah.
So, bare hands.
Bare hands.
What are we talking about? Appraising technique? Well, yeah, don't what? What did you say?
Don't grab it with your bare hands.
Oh, right.
Put on gloves, because that makes you seem so professional that you don't want the... And whenever people ask you, say, I don't want the oils from my hands to deteriorate the blank method or whatever they use.
It'd be really funny if you were like, I don't want to touch these with my bare hands, and then you put on gloves that are bare hands. They'd be like, this appraiser's hilarious.
Yeah.
They'd all want to come to you.
10 out of 10 would go again.
Yeah. Okay, so don't touch it with your bare... Got it.
Yeah, whatever.
That is do's and don'ts. We have done, and we have done not. Do not done. We have not done.
Done.
Do's and don'ts. Before we get to the call center, the last segment of the show, which is funny because people that are listening right now have only heard an hour's worth of the show, even though we've done an hour and a half. So I'm sorry, folks at home, we can't just add in other segments. We're going to do movie theater, and then we're going to do call center.
And then we're leaving.
And then we're getting the hell out of here. I have to get home and edit this thing. This is a show for me to edit. This is going to take me all night. I might stop at BGR on the way home
to learn how to operate the new mixer, so we don't run into that problem again. It has everything to do with what you did wrong.
You don't know how any of this equipment works.
You had one job.
None of that has anything to do with it.
Whatever. Let's just.
Oh wait, we're not at the.
Let's stay together for the.
So
kids.
movie theater, yeah, for the kids, exactly.
For the Rando Nation.
For the Rando Nation. So movie theater. Segment where we this segment I think is purely for you and I. I mean, people at home they may enjoy it.
Just for you and I.
But you and I love this. I mean, I love this segment for sure.
So this is so we got 3 words: adjective. I think those are all 3. And I just go to random word generator.
Yeah.
And I throw in and whatever it spits back out at me. This one is kind of strange. Dancing, coffee, and explosive.
Okay, dancing. By the way, real quick. this will
Dancing,
take-
coffee, and explosive.
Real quick, I have to tell you about this movie idea I had, and then we'll get into these for sure. So it's for the next Pixar movie. So and I pitched this today at lunch and to mixed reviews. Mine's down here.
Oh, okay. I was like, where is he?
All right, so Pixar, you take inanimate objects and you can give them that can talk. So
Like,
here's
here's
the
the
pitch.
foot massager that wanted to just massage the best feet in the world.
So here's the pitch. So it's a guitar, a bass drum, and a drum set, and they're aged rockers. They were really big in their day. And
Wait, so hold on. In this like
so
world you're building,
they
every
can talk.
Every
Yes.
instrument is sentient.
Yes, 100%.
So they were younger instruments killing the rock game.
Exactly. So
now
they were
they're
huge in the rock game.
I
Now
just
they're
thought
old.
this was like a bunch of people like us were around, and it's like, yeah, dude, they're great.
So they're just the instruments. They were rockers. They were killing it back in the day. Now they're older. They don't really get the same types of opportunities anymore. They're playing like clubs and stuff like that. Dive bars, exactly. And then at one of the dive bars, a young hotshot microphone performs at the dive bar, and they go, "Man, this guy's pretty good." And then they go, "You know what? Would you want to play with us maybe sometime?"
Ben, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think you might need to stop because this is actually like
a great idea.
This is something I can see coming out next summer.
I know. So, and the whole thing is so they perform together, they kill it. Suddenly, they're the newest thing in rock. And here's the thing. You can have the voices. So the only voice I had figured out so far is that the drummer, I want Dave Grohl's voice to be the drummer.
Oh, absolutely.
You can have Paul McCartney make a cameo as like a bass at one of the shows
or
they
like
do.
one of the managers.
You can have so many different cameos in the music industry for the stuff.
Who do we want them? Is the microphone going to be like some new talent
So
rising
I was
up?
originally thinking somebody in the realm of not Charlie Puth, but the other kind of young guy that I think he's won some Grammys and stuff like that.
Adam Levine is the rival microphone.
Adam Levine is 100% the rival microphone. So here's what happens. So they get big, and then the hotshot microphone gets approached by the record companies to go out on his own and do his own thing and join this other like boy band type group with like Adam Levine and these other guys. And suddenly, so he leaves the band and goes on his own and discovers like, man, I hate this. Like I'm being controlled by the record company and these other microphones. I hate doing this. I miss my old bandmates. And they come back for one festival and they blow out the doors. Like it's an awesome show. And like you could also like for the bassist, you want like a stoner type voice. You get like T.J. Miller or like somebody in that realm. Jack Black could be the guitarist. Like
Jack Black is 100% the guitarist.
Yeah.
Bass, I feel like you'd have to get someone who isn't like musically inclined.
Yeah,
it
you
just
don't
has
have to
be
get
like
you don't have to get a musician for each instrument.
Maybe Idris Elba.
Yeah. So he could definitely be in it. I like his voice because he's
got a good voice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
So-
dude, I'm not gonna lie. That's a f***ing incredible idea.
Okay, so every time I at work, I say a brilliant idea. Ricky just loves to be like, "Yeah, that's a great idea, man," like sarcastically. But I feel like this is a winner.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Like honestly, like
like if I could like go to Pixar, like at Pixar.com,
they
and
made
send
the
them this.
brave little toaster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They eat this up, dude.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
it's pretty good. So I don't know if this
trademark.
movie.
Trademark. Do you say trademark?
Yeah, you can say it out loud.
Trademark.
and that means it's taken. So
What are you gonna call it though?
That's a great question.
That's like the hardest thing.
I have not thought of that yet. But I will think of that.
A battle of the bands.
But then I don't really know if I want to put in this much work into it on something that will never ever exist.
That's true.
So this movie may not be as good as that idea, but the three words are dancing, coffee, and explosive.
Dancing, coffee, and explosive.
Dancing, coughing, and explosive.
I guess you have to pick the music, so it could be upbeat, it could be intense. I feel like we did really intense last time, so maybe.
Oh wait, no, that's
that's Dungeons and Dragons,
I
which
know,
we need to do
again.
again.
Pick that.
We need to do Dungeons and Dragons again.
Yeah, we will.
Drunkards and Dragons.
Drunkards and Dragons. So dancing, coffee, and explosive.
No.
Oh, no, you don't want to go with that?
Absolutely not. That's bad book club.
I
You can't go in that direction.
I know. All right, here we go. We'll just go with our old friend, movie trailer 1.
Don't you have more upbeat one? What was the one we did the Deer in Love to? Remember that one?
Oh, I think we just used, let's see.
Was it that one?
Yeah, it is. All right, here we go. Movie trailer. This movie's going to be coming out next year. Let's get it. Dancing, coffee, and explosive.
In a small town in Portland, Oregon, there's a barista. Loved to serve coffee.
His name was Brett. Brett the barista.
Brett the barista. He was known for his cool dance moves behind the counter as he'd serve coffee.
Yeah.
Little did he know, life was serving him something different.
One frappuccino, and then he does like a dip.
One day, a stranger came in and requested a coffee to go. Brett went through his normal spiel, but when he went to hand the coffee,
Oh God! When it was time to pay the money, things took a turn.
drastic turn.
The music doesn't fit this part of the movie.
Switch the music. Switch the music.
Okay. All right, hold on.
When he reached for the cash, he was handed a bomb.
Oh my God!
What? Sir! If you don't stop dancing, this bomb will explode.
I hate dancing, Brett.
Now dance, monkey, dance.
Oh, don't stop dancing. Okay, sorry. I thought you said if you don't stop dancing.
Basically,
I didn't know what the emphasis was.
It's Speed with
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, but Brett dancing.
My God. And then it's just Brett just doing crazy dance moves. Just
One
left and
man
right.
dancing for the right to survive. The entire fate of the coffee shop in Lower Manhattan is in his hands.
Brett,
or rather, his feet.
I can't.
Keep dancing, Brett. You have to keep dancing.
I can't do it anymore.
I don't want to die. Somebody get me the bomb squad.
I
This is
don't
the
know any
mayor.
more dance moves.
The second he stops dancing, the world will shatter.
Gulp.
Brett's Bungalow Coffee House Dance Festival.
Coming to theaters next summer.
That's pretty good. So I think we should do that where you switch if you feel the tone go a different way.
Sure. No,
That
I
was
like
cool.
that. I like that.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
we'll see which one, I mean, again, my idea was pretty good, the Pixar movie, but I think Brett's Bungalow Coffee Disaster might work as a movie as well.
Yeah.
You never know. Oh, this might be, do you see that? Hear that phone call? That might be Pixar. Is that Pixar calling?
Oh, God, I hope it's Pixar. Hold on a second.
Is this John Pixar?
Hold on. Hello, Random Word Podcast.
Ah.
It wasn't a real phone.
It
You
wasn't
got
a real
fooled
phone. You guys-
again.
God,
How many
how
times?
stupid can you be?
God, idiots.
You are worst child. You know that? You're our worst child. Your sister is way smarter than you, and this is all coming back to me. No.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Can we
Sorry.
hit the daddy issues button?
Jeez.
Dad, don't grab the belt again.
Yeah. Oh my God, Dad, stop! Sticking this baseball bat through my eye.
Wait, hold on.
No, wait. What are we talking about?
Were you born in prison?
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm sweating so much.
Prison Mike.
Call center. This is your opportunity to join the show. This is your chance, people.
Yeah, this is your chance to get your 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of different people emailing. You guys have been really good about that. We appreciate it. We've got a few lined up here. So, Ben, why don't you pick from the list? We'll
Sure.
Maybe 2, maybe 3. It depends how you're feeling.
All right. So Chris, 27 years old. Subject matter: movie madness. It's the Monster Mash. They sing that song weird, but it's like a vampire, right?
Yeah.
They sing it. Okay.
The Monster Mash.
Where did he
It's
get
a
his record
Monster
contract?
Mash.
You
The
know.
Monster Mash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Halloween again.
Yeah, you hear that
I
only
still
time
go.
it's
So Chris says I still go to the movies almost every other weekend. Oh, get a life, dude. And I keep running
That's
into
expensive.
people.
Is that a humble brag? It's like $30 to go to the movies.
Yeah.
for
Well, if
two
you're going
people.
with other people, if you're going by yourself and you eat beforehand, it's gonna be like $12.
Okay, that's fair.
But is Chris a loser or not? Well, clearly. I keep running into people talking during the movie. How can I get them to stop without being that guy?
That's tough. Because, like, I feel like we've talked about talking in movie theaters before, and, like, your experience with the kids. And
Oh, yeah, the slurper.
The slurper.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've never been in that situation before. Because if it had been an adult, I probably would have been like, hey, man, can you stop? But since it was a child, like, with his grandparents, I wasn't really able to do that. Because I figured they would just stop him. So this is a specific
one
scenario.
thing you could possibly do, and I'm just spitballing here. This
Okay.
is kind of a creative, like, whirlwind we got
I thought you were
going.
saying Korean.
This is a Korean whirlwind we got going.
Do they get a lot of whirlwinds?
I don't know.
don't
Maybe
know.
it's Korea.
Yeah. That's not offensive.
No, I don't know. It's a whirlwind.
It's the
specific.
whirlwind community.
Yeah, it's not PC. Anyway.
So what's your Korean idea?
So my great idea is
Sure.
so one thing that you just need to do, man, is you show up very early to
Yeah.
this screening. I know movie theaters, they run multiple screenings a day, right?
Yep.
Depending where you are. So maybe it's booked. You see what theater it's going to be in, and you wait till the movie and that current one ends. And while they're about to set it for yours, just carry around an out of order sign or something with you.
Okay, like
slap it on the door or say like closed for maintenance or something. And next thing you know, like the staff is going to try to figure out what's going on. People just will, right when they see that sign, they'll turn around and they'll just go into a different screening. You will have the entire place to yourself, if not more.
That's probably smart. That's probably smart, like an out of order
You might have
sign.
the entire theater just alone to yourself.
That's not a bad idea. I don't know what that voice was, but that's not a bad idea.
I re-listened to last episode, and I tried to do that Christopher Walken thing, and I just died when we were trying to do
movie to yourself.
Don't you see?
So I think what my suggestion would be, Chris, is if the person is talking to the movie, you're just gonna walk up to them slowly,
hit them right in the face.
No.
Open hand, smack shit out of them.
You're gonna pat like on your belt where possibly somebody could have a gun, like on your jacket or your belt, and you go,
just pat your crotch.
You just go, my friend can't hear the movie. Can you please quiet down?
Well, you should just carry a fake gun.
Yeah, like a water gun. Yeah, something in that shape.
It was like, but it still looks like a water gun.
Yeah.
Like you have a huge.
It's like dripping. Yeah.
You have a huge super soaker.
Super soaker that's stuck down your pants.
Super soaker. You're just like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, you say my friend here can't hear the movie.
Maybe deliver like the Clint Eastwood line, like you feeling lucky, punk.
Exactly. So that would be my advice.
Did I fire 5 shots or 6?
Just give him a little warning. You just give him a little warning. Who's next here on this call center? Who's the king of the calls? Or queen?
We'll go with Jeremy.
Jeremy,
34, and he didn't leave a subject line.
Oh, okay. Jeremy, you don't understand the game then, man. You got to put a subject line. For those who do want to email to the show, the randomwordblog@gmail.com, you have to have a subject line. You can't just put like, to your attention, or like, hello, or something like that. You got to put something.
And the only reason I pulled his forward is because I actually thought the question was pretty interesting.
All right, hit me.
So
literally, hit me.
Smack. So I really hate interpreting party invitations that do not have a specified dress code. Ooh. Jeremy, join the frickin' club. I just got invited to the Oscars watch party. Did that already happen?
Yeah, Sunday.
Okay.
Last Sunday. I watched the whole damn thing.
This won't help him anymore.
No.
But he just got invited to the Oscar watch party, and it doesn't say anything about costumes, black tie, or casual
What
wear.
if the Oscar watch party
was just everyone dressed up as Oscar?
Or no. Or just your friend named Oscar, and he just sits in the corner, and everybody just
watches
sits in chairs and just watches him the whole time. It's like, no, I thought we were going to be watching the Oscars. They're like,
shut up, Oscar.
No. This is an Oscar watch party.
Yes.
You didn't understand the invitation?
It's making me uncomfortable. Shut up, Oscar.
Sorry. These things just come to me.
Am I overthinking this? It makes me anxious if I am over or underdressed. Please help.
So Oscar is wondering about, these invitations, there isn't dress code specific. What do you do? Do you overdress? Do you underdress? How do you game plan for that? Jeremy's asking that question. Okay. Do you have one for him? Do you have some advice for him?
I sort of have a quick one. So I feel like it's kind of like dual-sided. So this isn't going to help you.
You call Two Suits Too Furious or whatever the name of the
this
service
is going
is.
to Okay, first of all, Too Close, Too Furious.
Yeah, whatever.
You read a book.
Yeah,
you were the one that advertised
Show up to my friend's house and bring me jeans. I don't know.
This is going to teach everybody a lesson. So, Jer Bear.
A lesson you won't ever forget. You son of a bitch. Show up to my Oscar watch party wearing a goddamn tuxedo one more time.
So, it doesn't specify any clothing, right?
Yeah.
So don't show up in any clothing.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah, that's the advice. Show up naked.
Well, they're going to be like, what the...
They're definitely going to be surprised.
What the hell, Jeremy?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, hey, guess what? Maybe next time you wear clothes or wear something specific. True. So what you're doing, it's going to be a little embarrassing. It's going to be hard to do, but you're going to be teaching a lesson to anyone who ever does that.
Sure.
And ultimately, you're going to help solve the systemic problem of people not putting that on their invites.
Okay.
So you just have to show up naked to one party at a time until the universe is saved.
My advice is definitely not to be naked, Jeremy. My advice is tuxedo top, shorts on the bottom. Not tuxedo shorts, but like gym shorts. But bring a blanket with you. So depending on the vibe of the party, when you're sitting on the couch, if it's a more fancy vibe, put the blanket over your legs. If it's a casual vibe, put the blanket over your top so you have the shorts there. And then you're covered. You've got both both things there. So
Right.
just make sure you
I
have a
just love
blanket.
the idea of someone bringing a blanket to someone's house to curl up with.
Do you mind if I use this?
Yeah, you're
I
cool.
mean,
fine.
I guess so. You showed up in a tuxedo top and shorts. One more here. One more call center here, Salty. Dalton, I'll get this one. So I will go with Annabelle. Let's get some women on this show. We would love. There's actually
Chris
most
could
of
be
our-
a woman.
Most of our, yeah, that's true. That's true. Most of our our listeners are most of our women are listeners. That's true as well. But most of our listeners probably are women. Annabelle's 27 years old. Her subject line is caller ID. I managed to get a few. She didn't put there.
I'm assuming it's something like that.
I managed to get a few different phone numbers from some guys last night. Whoa, Annabelle.
Whoa.
I can't remember their names
Sound the alarm.
or anything about them. How can I find this out without saying I don't remember? So she's got the phone numbers. They're in her phone. She has no knowledge of their names, their faces, anything that they talked about, anything at all. Annabelle's in a pinch, but clearly there's still some interest there, because why would she have taken the time to get their phone numbers? So what does Annabelle do in this scenario?
That's tough.
It's tough.
That's really tough. So the way I interpret this situation is Annabelle got their phone numbers. They do not have hers.
Correct.
That's how I'm interpreting this.
Possibly.
So in that case, Annabelle, you do have the upper hand.
Yeah.
Because they aren't going to know it's your phone number.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to do is come up with maybe a couple different telemarketer type calls, or maybe pretend to be a hospital saying, hey, your mother is in the hospital. We need a couple of information from you.
Sure. So telemarketer, or tell them like their grandma's dying. Okay.
Yes. I mean, you
Got it.
come up with a couple different ways. You got to piece together
Choose
this
your own
information.
path, Annabelle.
So maybe a telemarketer can only get their name, if that. People hang up all the time.
Okay.
So if you pretend to be maybe the coroner's office and say like, hey, we need you to come down here and identify a body.
Yeah.
Just please.
The body's me, and did we have sex? I don't.
Or like, but beforehand, we need to fill out a visitor request form for you. Please submit your name, phone number, address to this email address. You come up with a fake Gmail, like bodiesareus@gmail.com.
Bodies are us. That's what a funeral home would.
But
treat
basically,
that.
so you just need to prank call them until you can piece together who they are.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because my only answer was going to be something about like calling them from like a payphone and going through an elaborate like kidnapping.
Do you know where your family is?
Yeah, exactly, like that type of scheme
What?
where make them cut a pinky off and mail it to you and be like, oh, okay, I recognize that pinky from that night.
Or you text them and say, who is this?
Ooh, okay. And then
Or
they'll
say
probably
like,
go,
I
who's
keep
this?
getting phone calls from this number. I'm going to report to the police. Who is this?
Send me a picture of your face right now, otherwise I'm reporting you to the police.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh,
That'd be an interesting card to play.
that was Robbie from last night. He's an attractive fellow.
Robbie from last night.
Robbie from last night. So Annabelle, that's clearly the only way you need to solve this scenario that you're in, this predicament, if you will, because you may run into a facsimile of gentlemen throughout your night. So
An exact copy of Gentleman.
yeah, you know what freaks me out?
Robbie
is-
and his 32 clones.
I don't remember if we talked about it or not. We've been doing the show so long, but doppelgangers kind of freak me out. The fact that there was probably somebody that
you know
looks
there's
exactly like you.
Well, the probability, yeah. And there's also
like in a different country. They could be in a small village,
I used
like
to get-
in India, and they could look exactly like you.
in college, I used to get texts from Leslie Holbrook.
Yeah.
And she would be like, your doppelganger is here. And
Yeah.
she'd send me photos of this person in her science class who, like, it's very specific things. So, like, the angle from the side.
Remember the guy on the Mason campus that looked like me?
Yeah.
You guys would like point
Yes,
out. You'd be
all
like,
the time.
"Oh, there's Ben."
Yeah. But, like, also, like, there's myths behind this stuff. Be like, if you meet your doppelganger,
Yeah.
one of you dies.
I have to.
Like, one of you can
can only be one.
exist. Yeah.
Like at my old
Or,
work,
like, if you see your doppelganger, it's a sign that you're about to die.
because they're gonna murder you. Because at my old work, there was a guy that they would refer to as Black Ben because he was black, but he looked just like me, like literally just like me.
Well, it's sort of like
but he was
when
black.
you see the pictures online, like there's Pakistani Harrison Ford and
That's what
like
I'm
stuff
saying.
like that. Like
Like
it's
a different
just
culture.
You
Like,
take
think
this,
how many people are in India. There's millions and millions of people in India. There's got to be an Indian guy that looks exactly like you in like
Yeah.
a small village in Pekashar or
Is that a real?
I don't know.
I feel like you need to have a real place.
We actually have a lot of foreign listeners actually to the show.
Yeah,
more
Sweden.
countries have picked, not just Sweden, like
Sweden,
more.
France.
I think, somewhere in the UK picked it up. Australia. We got a couple listeners from Australia.
That's
now.
awesome.
And then we got a couple
Australia-
Mexico guys.
Australia is an underdeveloped podcast central.
A couple kangaroos sitting around listening to the show. All right, mate. These guys are pretty good. I like the movie theater segment. They started talking like Italian. Well, one kangaroo's Australian, the other one is an expat. He's from New York.
Right.
So before
Hey, Jelly.
I'll tell you, this podcast's not too bad.
That's all right.
But
bada bing, bada boom.
yeah, that's the guy. Have you seen Green
Forget
Book?
about it.
That won the Oscar for Best Picture. That's how one of the guys talks in the movie. He's just like he's Tony
No,
Lip.
I didn't watch the Oscars.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I think they're.
You uncultured swine. Yeah, I watched the whole damn thing. So before we go, Salty Dalton, even though the people at home are getting a generous amount of podcast of only about an hour and 20 minutes, but we're going to go because we have to put this thing up online, and the camera's giving a great shot of your stomach, so I'll make sure not to put that video up. I don't want to embarrass you. Not that you have a big stomach.
No, it's fine.
No, man.
I get it. You said
Okay.
enough. Just like the guy
you
at work.
specifically said to me on the ride here, you were like, hey, man, I just want to let you know I'm not going to order pizza because I don't think you should be having it. I'm going to just get flat bread with 2 tomatoes on it and feed that to you. And I was like, okay, I guess. That's what you said to me.
Yeah,
On my
100%.
drive. So before we end the show, we need some advice for the people at home. We've given them so much. I mean, think about it. We've given them advice on so many different things. We've answered their questions. We've given them do's and don'ts. We gave them a new word, a movie idea that they may steal and go make millions off of to Pixar, because a lot of Pixar employees listen to this show. But give us one last piece of practical advice before we set sail on the open seas and Bilbo Baggins says bye to all of the other hobbits as he heads onto the ships to the Undying Lands.
I mean,
With the other elves.
if you're in the ocean and you're attacked by a shark,
No, don't say do the advice where you punch it in the nose. Come on, you got to do better than that. Everybody knows that.
no, the gills, man.
Gills
Don't go for the nose. You gotta go for the gills.
Yeah, I've heard you punch it in the nose.
You stick your hand in the gills.
In the gills?
Yeah.
Inside of it, and what, rip its heart out? No, I've got it.
I mean, that'd be the equivalent of like if we were fighting. If I put my hand into your mouth,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah, okay, but if you also punched me directly in the nose, I probably can't do much either.
Well, I mean,
Give me some non-shark advice before we go. Like maybe something practical about like let's see, it's about to be springtime. It's going to snow tonight. Any snow-related advice for the people at home? Don't eat the yellow snow. Oh, funny guy. It's great. Put your wipers up before you go to sleep, so you don't have to pick them up later. I guess I don't know why people do.
I don't know, man.
You got to give them something. What do you mean you don't know? Every single week you've had some piece of advice come out of you, and it's been brilliant. You said like spray those things and leave your water on all night. And you've had some great.
Leave
remember?
your water? No, you said leave your
No,
water on.
I'm pretty
all
sure
night.
you did. Anything?
Jesus.
Here. How about this? If you're.
Oh, okay.
Sure. I'll let you go first.
Well, this is more just like it in the changing of the seasons. If you have ceiling fans, what you don't know is that depending on the season, they need to rotate a certain way because the way the fan blades are angled, it's either going to pull air up or push air down.
Oh.
The way it's angled. So generally, I think in the winter, you want to push the.
Is this a real thing?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
100%. There's a switch, and it's like it's really inconvenient to get to, but there's a switch on the side, and it will reverse the direction of the fan.
Oh.
So you just have to. I can't remember off the top of my head which season requires which direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, but that will actually help cool or heat your house.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. My advice to you is, when you're recording a podcast,
make sure you do it correctly.
Don't wait until 30 minutes in to figure out if
It's
you're
actually
recording it
working.
correctly. That
Yeah.
would be my advice to you, the Rando Nation. We are 2 episodes away from the next best of. We've got some hot chicken challenge before we end this season of the show. Salty Dalton's twisting the pen so you can hear those squeaks. I hope you appreciate that. Besides that, folks, it's time for us to go. It's been a wonderful day in the neighborhood. A wonderful day will you be. I really wish we could end the show like that every time.
You want to swap like taglines?
So what do you say? So I say sayonara suckers. You say we outie. No, I like saying sayonara suckers. You can say we outie.
Sayonara, suckers.
I'm not gonna say it like that.
You're not? Why not? You gotta do something different.
I can delete that. All right, people. Sayonara suckers.
We outie.